topic number 60, for loop statement. So let's look at looping statement. So in the previous video we have learned about the how we can use the loop and its working principle. Now in this video we are just going to learn about the for loop. Okay, so let's look at looping statement. Actually what I can say that about the looping statement is that it is a way to execute sequence of the statement again and again till the given condition is over. Okay, that is fine. So suppose if you wanted to execute some of your sequence of the statement, so you wanted to execute it and again for the specified condition, then you must have to use the loop. And loops gives the concept of writing the same thing. It avoids writing the same things. It actually used to avoid the thing that is unnecessary there. That is unnecessary because when you write hello world again and again by using the printf function, so that thing is taking so much of time for writing these codes. So if you wanted to reduce your code, then your code is just going to help you. Then you are a good programmer. So looping statement is used to reduce the code. Okay, so this is very important in programming. So actually looping statement actually is the way to execute sequence of the statement again and again till the given condition is over. And that is what I am talking about. Okay, what I am talking about again till the given condition is over. So it means to say that if you execute or run the common task again and again, then you have to use the loop. So this is the actual meaning of the loop, and I have told you about the mechanism and the principle also. So let's look at once more so that you can revise it. So the working principle that I have taught you that at first it checks initialization portion. After initialization it checks the condition. And if the condition is true, then the statement will execute. Otherwise, the control will be transferred to the statement just after the loop. Okay, so this is the working principle as I have told you in the previous video. So now, moving on the for loop. Okay, so here we will talk about the syntax that how to deal with the for loops. Okay, so here our first syntax that is used in the for loop is that you have to initialize here the variable for parenthesis open and closes here. Then you have to initialize the variable here. After initializing the variable, use this semicolon. Okay. After condition checking, you have to use the semicolon again, and you have to use the increment and decrement operator. Then and this curly braces open sequence of the statement that you wanted to give here, and we can say curly braces closes here. So actually how it works is that first it checks the condition. First it initializes the variable. After initializing the variable, it checks the condition. If the condition is true, then this sequence of a statement is going to be executed. After completing this sequence of the statement, these statements come in the increment and decrement. Comes in the increment and decrement series. So when the increment occur or decrement occur, then it again checks the condition, and if the condition is again true, then it again come into the sequence of the statement. Again it goes into the increment and decrement, and in the same way it come here, that is in the condition checking, and if the condition is false now, then it terminates. So actually it works like this, goes from here variable initialization to condition checking, then the sequence of the statement, then this increment decrement, then condition checking, then sequence of the statement, then increment decrement, then condition checking, and if the condition is false, it terminates. So this is how the for loop works. Okay. Here we have the another syntax that we can use in the for loop. that is initializing the variable out of this parenthesis. And how we can do this? Like this way. We have to initialize the variable first. Then again you have to use the for, and you must have to use the semicolon here. Okay. And also here for the variable initialization. After variable initialization, you have to use the checking, that is the condition checking, and semicolon again, increment decrement of, we can say increment or decrement, and we have talked you about the increment and decrement operators in the later section of the increment and decrement topics, that is the operator about these things. Okay, then what, again the same thing happens. What the main difference here is the style of writing, style of syntax varies. We were using the for loop in our first syntax like this way, but in our second syntax we were using the for loop like this. So actually the main principle is going to be the same. First, what will happen? Variable initialization will be happen as it was initializing the variable first. Then condition checking. Then condition checking. Then it will execute sequence of the statement. Then increment and decrement. And if the condition is true again, then it will again execute the sequence of the statement. Then goes on to the increment and decrement. And again it comes here in the condition checking. And if the condition is not meeting true, then it will be terminated and move forward for the another statement, whatever is there in the C programming. So actually it works on this principle. Okay. Now moving on the third syntax, that how we can use it. So here you can compare the things. Variable initialization, use the semicolon here. Variable initialization. Condition checking, use the semicolon, and for this line increment and decrement we were using our increment and decrement here. So this is the another style of writing the for loop, and this is also another style of writing the for loop, that is semicolon, semicolon, and the sequence of the statement. Now this is the, actually we can say the double variable initialization, condition checking, and double increment and decrement in the for loop. That how we can initialize. Let's look at for, parenthesis open and closes here. What you can initialize an variable here, and condition checking, and also an increment decrement operator. So if you are initializing the two variables, suppose you have to initialize two increment and decrement, and in that semicolon is needed. Okay. So this was all about the, we can say the syntax part of the for loop. Now looks at the examples of it, that how we are just going to use it in our programming. So let's look at it. Here I have a program for you, that write a program in C to print the following message like this. I have to print line number 1, line number 2 until line number 10. So 1, 2, 3 and till 10. So I will use for loop for solving this problem. So how I am just going to use it? Let's look at. Here is that program which is using the for loop concept. Okay. As I have told you about the header file, that is hashtag include studio.h header file. It stands for standard input output header file, and hashtag include connew.h header file. It stands for control input output header file. So this is going to initialize all the file which is under the studio.h header file and which is under the connew.h header file. Okay. After that I have uses the main function which is of return type void, means empty. And in the main function, I have obtained the main function by using the curly braces, and here I am declaring a variable, we can say. I am using a variable I of integer data type, okay, and I have used the function clrstr function which is used to clear the screen, okay. After that I have used the for loop, and that is so important. That is so important because my aim is to print this message. My aim is to print this message. How I will do this? Using the for loop. Okay. So you can see here. So I have firstly initialized, we can say I equal I of integer data type. And here you can see I am using the concept of the for loop. As I have studied in the syntax part that for initialization, that is the variable initialization here, condition checking here, and increment and decrement here. Okay. So I am using it. That is for loop. So for parenthesis open and closes variable initialization here, that I am initializing I is equal to 1. So I will be started from 1, and is 1 is less than 10. Is 1 is less than 10. The condition is true. So what I have told you, if the condition is true, then this statement is going to execute. Okay, and whatever the value is of I here, that will be printed here with this format specifier. So here the I value is 1. Therefore, line number 1 will be printed on the screen. So you can see line number 1 has been, we can say, printed. And in the similar way, then after this execution, it will go here. It will go here. Because this is a single line statement, therefore I am not using the curly braces. And if it is a multi-line statement, then you must have to use the curly braces here. Okay. After executing this statement, it will go here. Now I is 1, but after I plus plus, it become 2. So I has become 2 now. Then it goes on to the condition checking that 2 is less than equal to 10. Yes, it is. So again it will execute this statement, and now I is 2, therefore 2 will be printed here. And in the similar way, it will go here again, and I now become 3. Then after that, conditions is going to be checked, and 3 is less than equal to 10. Is 3 less than equal to 10? Yes, it is, because 3 is actually less than 10. Therefore, this condition is making true again. Therefore, again this statement is going to be executed, and now I is 3. Therefore, 3 will be printed here. And in the similar way, this will be going and going till this condition is false. And suppose now I become 11. Nice. I become 11. Is 11 less than or equal to 10? False. Therefore, this statement is not going to be printed, and this statement is going to be used. And gauge, you know about this thing, that it is used to get a character from keywords. So when you press enter, that is going to be working, and it's hold the screen for the sometimes. That is the method, because get is used to get a character from the keyboard, and after finally getting a character from the keyboard, it terminates. So this is how you can use the concept of the for loop in implementing the concept of the for loop in the programming. So let's look at the output, that how it is just working. Here I is 1, 1 is less than or equal to 10, line has been printed 1, and in the same way 2, 2 is less than or equal to 10, yes it is, then line 2 has been printed, that is 2 here, and in the similar way, here you can see this is not going to be printed, but this is going to be printed. So this is the, we can say, the merit of the for loop, and we can use it in our programming. Now let's look at the another example that I am going to give you, that write a program to accept n number, calculate and display the sum and average value. So this is the question for you. Okay, this is the question for you using the for loop concept. So I think that you have guessed the right thing, and I think that you have written your answer. So let's look at the answer of it. So this is a program actually finding the average and the sum of n number. So what is n number? N number is that number which is going to be given by the user. Okay. So for getting that number, you have to use the scanf function, because the scanf function is going to help you for getting that value from the user through keyboard. Okay. Now, so here is that. First we have to initialize, we can say you have to use the header file that I am using, hashtag include studio.h and hashtag include conio.h. So this is the header file. So if you write these all the codes in C, that is going to be done. Okay. Okay. Now hashtag include studio.h and hashtag include conio.h is the header file. Okay. After initializing this, after using this header file, this is a main. This is a main, and main is a function here because it has a parenthesis. Main is a function, and whose return type is void, means empty. It is not going to return anything. Okay. Now here I have uses the two variable, that is I and n. Okay, of integer data type. And in the similar way, I am using num, sum, and average variable of float data type. Okay. After that, I have used the clr function, whose work is to clear the screen actually. And I have printed the value that how many number do you want to enter, because I wanted to make sure that the user is going to enter a number. So what I will write there? So I will write how many numbers do you want to enter? Yeah, you wanted to enter. Then the user, because I have to accept n number from the user, and that n number is given by the user. Therefore, I am using the concept that print that number, because I have to display the message. Then after the user can understand that what we need to do. And as we have written here that how many numbers you wanted to enter. So user is going to print any number. So we can say enter any number from the keyboard. And in the same way, I have used the scanf function. Scanf function help us to accept a value from the keyboard. So whatever the user is going to, whatever the user is going to enter from the keyboard, that is going to be stored here. So this is and n is that number. N is the variable of integer data type, so it is going to store the integer value only. And this ampersand is used to hold the address of the variable, so it is actually holding the address of n. So if you know the address, then you can access everything of that variable. So I can access the data also, that is going to be used by the user, that is going to be pressed by the key. Okay, so that number has come in here in the format specifier, and just I am using that concept. Okay, now here you can see this is the for loop as I have studied. This is the initialization of the variable I is equal to 1, and again you can see this is another initialization of the variable, that is sum is equal to 0, average is equal to 0.0, because it is a float value, therefore I am initializing all the variables here. And after initializing, I am terminating the variables. I am terminating the initialization of the variables, and after that I am using the condition checking that I is less than equal to n, because I is going to be run till n number, and n number is that number that is given by the user. Okay, comma I plus plus. So I plus plus is the increment operator. This is what we can say post increment operator. And after using this concept, because of this multi-line statement, therefore I have used the curly braces here. And after that, I am using the sequence of the statement, that is printf enter number is equal to percentage di. So whatever the value of I here, because I is 1 now, I is 1 here, so it is going to print 1 till n, because condition is going to be like this. So if suppose n is going to be 2, so n is going to be 2, then I is equal to 1 here. Condition needs to be checked now. I is less than 2. I is less than 2. Yes, it is, the condition is true. Then this statement is going to be executed. This statement is going to be executed till the condition becomes false. And that is the meaning of the for loop. Okay. After that, I have used the sequence of the statement, that is the scanf, \n %f, comma, and num. Now what is and num? And num is that number which is used for finding the sum and the average of any number. Okay, this is the variable of float data type, and I have told you that ampersand help you to hold the address of this variable, that is num here, and this, because if you know the address of anything, then you can access everything of that. Therefore, I am accepting, or we can say access the number also of that. Okay, so this is the scanf function. Now, after that, I have written the sum equal to sum plus num. So whatever the value that is going to be entered by the user, that is going to be stored here in the num. So now sum is 0 here. What num is? Some number that is given by the user. So suppose it is 5. Suppose it is 5. Num value is 5 given by the user. So 0 plus 5 is actually 5. So it is going to be stored here. And suppose again the user entered the num value, that is 10 here. Then in the sum value, that was 5. 5 plus 10 is 15. So sum is going to store 15 now. And suppose the user again enter the number for the summation, that is suppose you can give the number 100. What sum contains now number, that is 15. So 15 plus 100 is 150. That is going to be stored here. So this is how it works. Okay. And after that, I am using the average concept. Average means sum of all number divided by the number. Num. Sum of all number divided by n, and n is the total number. N is the total count of the number. So this is how you can find the average, and this is how you can find the summation. Okay. Now after that, finally I am printing the sum of the percentage d. Percentage d is going to replace the value with this format specifier, that is n here. So if sum of one number is equal to percentage f sum, okay, percentage f is used for the float value. So sum is containing the float number, therefore it is going to print us the float value. And in the similar way, I am using the concept for the average, that average of some particular number is going to be this. Okay, and finally I am using the gauge concept, that is gauge function, and this is the termination. So let's look at the output, because it is the user defined function. It is the user defined function. How it is? Because user is going to give you the number, that how many times it is going to be executed. So suppose the user has given us the number, that is you can see here n is 4. Suppose user has given the number, that is 4 here. So here n is 4, what I is 1. So how many times it will going, we can say. How many times it will execute? It will execute till I become 5. It will execute till I become 5. Therefore you can say it will execute till I become 5. So here, and the user again, in the one condition, user printed the number, that is 11, and the 2, that is going to be printed 20. User has given this number, and not I am going to give the number. Okay. When I become 3, user has given some alternative number, that is 9 here. When I become 4, user has given some alternative number, that is 14 here. So what the summation has done here is that summation 0. First, the initialization of summation was 0. Therefore, you can see here, so 0 plus num, the user has given the num, that is 11. So 0 plus 11 is equal to 11. Okay. And in the second statement 20 here. So in the second statement user has given us num value, that is 20. So sum has contained 11 in it. Therefore you can see 11 plus 20 is going to be 31. Therefore 31. In the similar way, in the third part, that is when I become 3, user has given us 9. So 31 plus 9 is going to be 40. And after when I become 4, user has given us some alternative number, that is 16 here. So 40 plus 60 is going to be 56. So actually the summation has counted all the values here. And this is the average, because the sum average you can see here, sum divided by n. So n is 4 and sum is 56. So 56 divided by 4 is actually 14. So this is the working principle. So this is the condition, and this is a false condition. When I become 5, condition becomes false. Then actually the for loop is not going to be executed and it terminates. So you can see the output here. User has given us 4. Enter number 1 has been printed on the screen, that is 11. And in the similar way, this is all number. So sum of 4 number is going to be 56, and sum of 4 number is going to be this. And the sum of 4 number is going to be 56. And the average of 4 number is going to be this. Because this is all working on the user defined function. That is using the for loop concept, and it is very useful in C language for solving any kind of problems relating to the for loops. So this was all about the for loop statement that is used in the C language. I hope that you will be enjoying in learning the C language. So thanks for watching. Dhanyavad.